Alright guys, today we're talking about The Last of Us Part 2 again, and I know that in my last video talking about this game I said that it would be the last one and I wasn't planning on talking about it again until the game actually came out or until we got close to the launch, and I did mean that. However, there is a pretty significant update to this entire story that I wanted to take some time here and go over, just not only to relay the news to everybody. I think it's only fair that I cover any significant updates to this game because of everything I've had to say about it. And as we get closer to the launch, we're going to start to get the full story here, the full overview, and it's going to be very interesting. And so I just feel as though it's fair. I also obviously want to give my thoughts on this. A lot of people were asking me to do so. So we're going to get into it. If you could do me a favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss any future content. But the update I'm talking about here is Sony has actually come out here and clarified, well, not clarified, but they confirmed to gamesindustry.biz that they have identified the leaker/leakers with this game. It says here, gamesindustry.biz update May 1st, 2020. Sony has confirmed to gamesindustry.biz that it has identified the primary individuals responsible for the leaks earlier this week, saying they were not affiliated with Sony Interactive Entertainment or Naughty Dog, as was rumored. The publisher declined to comment further, saying that the information was currently subject to an ongoing investigation, which that part to me I find very interesting because it makes me wonder what else would they have to say. And we also have Neil Druckmann, who said a few things as well on Twitter that leads me to believe that there is a lot more to the story. At least it seems that way. There might not be. We might pretty much know the bulk of it, but we're just missing a few key details. However, those few key details could make a big difference in this entire situation. So there's a lot of people kind of coming at me saying I need to apologize or whatever. I'm not really understanding this. In my last video, yes, I was acknowledging that it seems that there's some issues over there at Naughty Dog and the way they run the studio. And I'm not going to apologize for anything because there's still a lot up in the air right now. And if you look at the wording of this, right, it says they were not affiliated with Sony Interactive Entertainment or Naughty Dog. I mean, this is such a strange situation, and it's hard to tell if maybe there's, something else going on here, because they're basically trying to say here that whoever did this has nothing to do with Sony or Naughty Dog, and that would lead you to believe that it wasn't a developer or a contractor or anybody that at any point in time ever worked for Naughty Dog. However, the thing that makes this so bizarre is, and I've seen a lot of other people talking about this and covering the situation, and they're pointing out that if you go look at some of these leaks, it's very clear when you look at the text that comes on screen, on the left side and on the top right and everything, that this is like a developer build of the game here. And I've seen some people say that this is due to a security breach and hackers, and that could be the case. I'm not discounting that or saying that that's not possible, because of course it is. At this point, anything's possible. This situation is just so insane, and it's such a mess that I'm expecting to find out anything. I'm expecting anything, and I just think it's a little strange. There's so much out there, and there are people pointing out that if you look at certain text that comes up on screen, it says like focus testing build or something like that. And look, to me, I think it does matter how the game leaked out, because there's no doubt that if this was somebody who was once affiliated with Naughty Dog and is no longer affiliated, like they were fired or they quit or whatever it might be, that's a lot worse than if this was a hacker or a group of hackers who somehow managed to steal this and put it out there. That's really bad as well, but that definitely makes Naughty Dog look a lot better. And it's unfortunate because there was like a Reddit post that was kind of circulating around, and I didn't really cover that Reddit post in detail. Excuse me. However, I think that maybe I did get some of my information, not directly from that Reddit post, but from other individuals who were kind of referring to that. So I guess I will apologize for that, because that's been confirmed to be completely fake and made up, which, stuff like that is just so unfortunate at a time like this, where regardless of how you feel about the game, we don't need people making stuff up to just create further issue and further complications for everybody involved, including the fans. It's unnecessary. We want to know the truth, and there's no doubt that these leaks are real. This 100% proves it. And there's been people who've been telling me that I shouldn't judge the game before playing it, and I want people to understand that it's not just the plot of this game that has me so upset, and I think that that's where there's a little bit of a misunderstanding here. There's a lot of different things here that I don't really feel like going into, because I try not to get too political on the channel here. I really don't want to dive into that territory, because that's not why I made this channel. I made this channel to celebrate my passion for gaming and my excitement for it. And sometimes because of that passion, it kind of takes an abrupt left turn into negativity and frustration. And I don't want to really continue to dwell on this. And the truth is, this is just stressful to me, because people don't seem to understand that this was a game I was very, very excited for. And I know that there's people who get upset at me giving my opinion and my thoughts on it and what I have to say, and the fact that I am even contemplating whether or not I want to buy the game and play it day one now because of everything. And there's a lot of people kind of jumping on me, saying that that's irresponsible, that's ridiculous, you need to grow up and everything. And look, here's what I'm going to say to those people. You need to grow up, because if you're out here trying to tell somebody they're not allowed to have their own opinion and thoughts and express those opinions and thoughts on a platform such as YouTube, and your only response is you either need to stop, which is the worst response, okay, stop trying to silence people, or I need to grow up. Listen, I'm not the one out here telling anybody what they should or shouldn't be doing. That's not my place. I'm not that entitled to believe that I have that kind of power, okay? I'm not the one out here telling people not to buy this game. In fact, if you want to know my real feelings, at this point in time, after everything that's transpired, my feeling on the matter is very simple, and this is it. You ready? If you are someone who is still excited for this game and you want to buy this game, whether you know about the leaks or not, good for you. If you are somebody who is no longer excited for this game, or was never excited for it, or has no intention of buying it or supporting it now, good for you. Do what you want. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. I'm just giving my thoughts and opinions, and just kind of evaluating for myself, what to make of all this. And I know that there's a lot of hardcore Naughty Dog fans, a lot of hardcore PlayStation fans, and a lot of hardcore Last of Us fans that just don't want to hear somebody like myself, being, a PlayStation-centric channel, saying that I'm not liking what I'm hearing at all, to the point where I don't even know if I want to play this game. And I get it. I understand the idea of, well, you haven't played the game yourself, so is it really fair to judge it? And you have to understand, again, this is where it's not necessarily just the plot. It's not like, oh, this is a bad plot and I'm judging it based off the leaks. I don't want anything to do with it now. There's a lot of other crap behind this that just screams other, it just makes me extremely uncomfortable. And because of that, I just don't know if it's something that I want to pay my money for, to willingly give my money to something and experience it. And I apologize that this is what the conversation has turned into once again, but I've been experiencing a lot of different reactions, and I think to just kind of sum this up, and I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to make it another 20-minute video talking about The Last of Us. I think to kind of sum this whole situation up, from my perspective, it's an absolute mess. It's a mess. It's a dumpster fire. And I say this because, I saw that Naughty Dog put out a post yesterday where they were talking about the release date of June 19th, and I looked at the replies, and I was just shocked. I just couldn't believe it. The reason why I'm so shocked is because if you had told me a month ago that this is how people would be replying to a Naughty Dog post talking about the release date of The Last of Us Part 2, I would have told you were absolutely insane and need to seek help immediately. But yet here we are. And it's just a mess. It's a shame. It's a sad situation for literally everybody. And I'm not trying to create a situation where we're fighting each other. That's not what I want to do. I just want people to understand that I'm just one person and I'm just giving my opinion. And if it upsets you to the point where you feel as though you need to let me know how much is wrong with me because I'm making the decision that I don't know if I'm going to play the game, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I'm sure I will have a lot more to say when the game actually drops, and I'm just unsure if I want to play it. If that bothers you to the point where you just need to really let me have it, well, then go right ahead. You're free to say what you want. You're free to do what you want, but I just think that people who do this should be understanding of the fact that, maybe that's not necessarily the best way to go about it. I understand that there's a lot of people who just don't want to believe that this is the situation. There's a lot of people who don't want to accept that these leaks are real, and there's the vast majority of people have seen them, and the vast majority of people, at least based off of what we're seeing so far, based off of the reaction, are not happy about them. Now, this could just be an echo chamber. The amount of people who are upset could be much smaller than we realize. However, I just don't think that's the case. Yeah, the game's still going to sell well. Of course, there's a lot of people who are not happy about the leaks who are still going to buy the game and experience it for themselves, and I may end up being one of those people. We don't know yet. But there's no denying that people are not happy about this, and to kind of finish this video, I should have said this earlier, but I wanted to bring up a few things that Neil Druckmann actually posted out on his Twitter. And when GamesIndustry.biz put this out on their Twitter, the update that Sony has identified the people responsible for this, there's definitely going to be some serious legal action taken, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out, because we are going to find out everything at some point for sure. He first tweets out, well, how about that? And then he tells people to avoid the comments if you don't want spoilers. And then he says something else after that with the same post, and he says, glad this got cleared up, but there are a lot of other false rumors out there. Looking forward to discussing all of this once the game is out. Now, that's interesting to me because, I do want to know what Neil Druckmann has to say about this situation. Unfortunately, he can't say anything right now, and Sony claims that they can't say anything right now because it's an ongoing investigation. So it sounds like legal reasons, potentially. And I don't blame them for that, but it does make you think, like, what exactly are they going to say here? Because what I would like them to say is that these leaks are from an older build, and, while some of this stuff is still in the final game, it's been changed dramatically since then. So rest assured, I would absolutely love if that was the case, and I would be back on board with this game, but I don't think that's the case, and they're not saying that's the case. And the final thing I want to highlight here comes from an individual named Andrew Frost, who is a game designer at Naughty Dog and works on The Last of Us Part 2. And he quoted what Neil Druckmann had to say here about the situation getting cleared up. And he said, this week has been crazy. There is so much misunderstanding and lies going around. It's hurting my brain. Avoid the spoilers and don't trust them all either. LOL. Now, look, this is the only thing I've seen so far from an individual within Naughty Dog that has given me any inclination whatsoever that there's potential, and I need to highlight that word potential, that these leaks may not be what the final game is, at least not in the way we see them, right? However, it's really hard to argue that because we've seen a lot. You're talking about hours of footage, hours of gameplay. But this game has been in development for a very long time, and there's no denying that I'm sure there's some stuff that they, finalized or got very close to finalizing, and they realized at the last minute they had to kind of scrap it. Maybe not start over, but change things around. That is a possibility. I'm hoping that might be the case, but what he says here, Andrew Frost. I don't know if he was supposed to say that, but he might not be talking about the spoilers and He might just be talking about stuff that people are making up, right? Which there's no doubt people are doing that right now. So I don't know. What I do know is that based off of what I have seen for myself, it's so sad because I've seen some stuff that really I thought was so good, in the beginning, and I'm like, this looks like it could be something special, and then I see where it goes, I see what happens, I see how it happens, and I know people are like, you're lacking context, but trust me, if you are somebody who's looked at I'm talking about all of the leaks that are out there, you'll know that there is more than enough context here. And for me, there's no amount of extra context that could be given to make me feel comfortable and excited or good about what is going on in the decisions that Naughty Dog made here with certain characters that we will not name in this video, one character specifically. And no, I'm not talking about Joel and Ellie. So, that's going to do it for the video, guys. It's already turning out longer than I wanted it to, but I just wanted to provide this update. And the final thing I'm going to say here is this. The only time I plan to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 between now and the time it actually comes out, or as we get closer to release, is if there's any big update. Obviously, I'm going to update you guys on that, but I've said all I have to say. You guys know how I feel about it, and when it comes to whether or not I'm going to play the game, we will cross that bridge when we get there. Just know I will be paying very close attention to what people have to say. There are some people's opinions in the industry that I do respect, and once they play the game and they review it, I will be listening to what they have to say. And this is an important time where I want to know, like, is it really that bad? Or are there any redeemable qualities to this whatsoever that would make it worth playing? And we will cross that bridge when we get there. So that does it for the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Be sure to leave the video a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.